Good morning, honorable judges and my dear fellow teachers. It's my honor for me to stand here to introduce my teaching plan to you. And I'd like to generally divide my presentation into three parts. The first part is my understanding on this video, and the second part is my teaching objective, including the main focus and the difficulties in it. And the third part is my teaching procedure. So first of all, I'd like to start with my understanding of this video. As you can see, it is an authentic material, and it narrated at a kind of slower and normal rate. So I think it is quite suitable for the intermediate students, non-English majors. And even although it is some words or phrases a little bit for them, but with the visual help, I think most of the students can understand lots part of the video for the first time. And the theme of the video is how to build an eco-friendly home. And the structure of the video is quite obvious. At the very beginning, the narrator put forward the question or problem that is actually we waste a lot of energy, and he used some statistics to show that is, well, actually Americans' houses and buildings already cost 40% of the energy, and we have a lot of waste in our home. And then the narrator gave an example of Cohen's house to better illustrate this problem. Then the narrator wants to solve the problem by giving us another example, that is by Levin's home, and give us two options to solve the problem. The first one is to unplug your electronics while you are not using them in your home. And he also illustrates with some detailed examples like the TV set or some statistics like we will cost $60 per year for extra knowledge. And the second option the narrator proposed is to talk about Levin's home. That is, Levin used solar panel to solve the energy wasting problem. And he also compared the situation in Levin's home and in Cohen's home to get us to tell us the problem solving way. Okay, so that is the structure of this video. And then based on my understanding of the video, I'd like to set into my teaching objectives from two perspectives. The first one is the knowledge level. That is to say, after watching this video and learning this video, the students should be able to understand this eco-friendly problem, including, well, why are we wasting the energy, and maybe some statistics to show our energy wasting problems and some ways to better solve them. For example, we can use what kind of new energy to replace electronics, this kind of knowledge. And the second perspective is from the linguistic acquisition perspective. And I want to mention that based on the theme-based teaching or learning theory, actually knowledge perspective and linguistic perspective should not be separated into isolated position. Actually, they are interactive and should correlated and integrated into a whole process. So while we acquiring the linguistic acquisition, actually we are learning the language, and vice versa. While learning the language, learning the knowledge, we also obtain some linguistic acquisition. In that sense, I'd like to further divide my linguistic perspective into three subcategories. The first one is lexical level, and the second is syntax level, and the third one is discourse level. So I'd like to illustrate this point more. So on the lexical level, I'd like to teach students some theme-related words, such as eco-friendly, of course, and energy, also solar panel, and even some units to measure the energy, like watts to measure electricity, and Celsius to measure temperature. So that is the lexical level. And then for the syntax level, I'd like to provide them some structures, sentence structures like to solve some problem we should do, or thanks to A, B, the solutions. So this kind of structure the student could use to express how to propose a problem and how to solve it in their later communication ways, not only on this field but also on many other topics. And the third one is discussed level, that is the structure. I have mentioned before that the video is clearly structured. First, propose the problem and then solve the problem. And both the put forward problem and the solving problem part, the writer also all use some examples. So I want to tell students how to use examples to support your views, and then give us a full passage of problem propose and problem solve the patterns. Okay, so that is my teaching objective. Of course, how to express the problem solved pattern is my main focus and difficulties. Okay, and based on my teaching objective, I'd like to say something about my teaching procedure. As I already said, we should base our teaching mainly on the theme. So I think we cannot limit our teaching time within class time. Actually, we should expand it more to the off-class time. That is to say, I'd like to use the blended methods to teach the students on the theme-related method. For example, we should blend the in-class time, face-to-face time, with the out-class time, that is online time, after class and before class. Now let me illustrate this more. For example, use this material as example. I should like to first upload some tasks to some platform or to some public email box, so that the student can first do my tasks before they officially take this video. That is to say, I will put some tasks such as, please collect some statistics to show that the energy wasting is really serious in China. Also, I will ask students to brainstorm some new ways to replace electronics. And this kind of tasks, which I will put them online. That is to say, students should first talk about and know more knowledge before they are officially given this class. Okay, and in that case, when we meet each other face to face and begin watch this video, they have already established a knowledge basement. In that case, in a while, I think we should shorten the before watching part or leading part, because they already have a knowledge basement. And instead of I tell them the information of knowledge, I prefer that they report the findings to us. So in that case, the students can not only activate their schema, but also they will find the gap between what they want to express and what they can express in English. So with this gap, with realizing this gap, the student will have curiosity to learn more about the linguistic thing in the future watching time. Okay, so and then that is for the first part. The student should finish it online before class, and then in a while watching part, I first will play the video from the beginning to the end without any interruption, so that student can understand the general idea. And then I will design some gap filling exercises and ask students to locate or dictate some theme-related vocabulary, just as I said before. And secondly, I will also design some in-depth questions to ask students to how to solve this problem, the energy wasting problems, according to this video. And after the watching part, that is the speaking output part, I will ask students to discuss and then maybe talk about the things in our country or in our city or in our school, and discuss some solutions to save energy in our school or in their dormitory. Okay, so that is for their group discussion in class. Use the vocabulary we have just mentioned. And for the after class, I also hope the students can use the technology again to record some video by themselves. Like, groups of students will make a video to talk about maybe how to design a new energy-saving devices, or how can we save the energy, such kind of things. In that case, I think students can better increase their confidence in English, because they can increase their sense of fulfillment with the products they already made, that is a video, instead of only speaking in front of their classmates. That is one thing. And another thing is, I think by making this video, the student can finally realize, okay, now I can just narrow down the gap. I actually realized before I taking this watching class, that is, I can't express what I want to say. So I hope this is good for my students to learn about this video. Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. All right. In your presentation, you introduced that the video program introduced a problem, and then when presenting the solutions, they provided a lot of examples.
Yes, sure.
Okay. Now, I'm not very much interested in what these examples are, but I'm more interested in how these examples are structured. You know, examples are not just thrown out.
Yeah, sure.
They have to follow certain kind of structure. So what kind of structure is used? Or in other words, what kind of rhetorical pattern is adopted by the author in presenting these, what you consider to be examples, or we can consider them to be details?
Okay, thank you, Professor. Thank you for your question. Well, actually, I just mentioned they give us two options, and two options also supported by examples. To the first option, that is to unplug electronics. The narrator first used the sentence, to solve this problem, we have simple ways to save the energy. That is the topic sentence to illustrate his option, I think. And then he used some details, like he used examples like TV set. That is the very common electronic appliance in our home. And he introduced, well, even you do not, the TV is off, but it is plugged in while wasting time. So use this way to support his opinion. First, a topic sentence, and then give detailed or concrete examples to support his solution, the first solution way. And for the second solution, the author used a comparison between Levin's home and Cohen's home. And he used also a concrete day, that is, the temperature is also a kind of minus 40 degrees Celsius. And what happened in Cohen's house, it's cold. But what happened to the Levin's house, it's warm because of the solar panel. So use comparisons to support his second solution. So I think that is the structure the narrator used.
Okay, thank you. Now, okay, let's move on to the design of your teaching plan. Well, you said that you are going to pick out some theme-related vocabulary items. Okay. Now, for every teaching material, of course, we will, if we are focused on the theme, we will pick up the theme-related vocabulary items. But for this particular material, what other lexical items you might want to focus on, in addition to the theme-related items?
Of course. Besides the theme-related vocabulary I just mentioned, here are some other words I think the students should pay attention to. That is how to describe the electronics, especially the situation of the electronics in their home. Like the narrator talk about the heater and the freezer. Maybe it is commonly seen for the students, but I'm not sure whether they can talk about this thing in English. Even a name they cannot express in the right way. Also, plug in. It's a very easy movement, but I'm not sure students can use this to express that. And also the related vocabulary to the heater or freezer or temperature is the units I just mentioned. It's also not very theme related, but actually it is commonly or frequently used in our daily life. But students cannot express these units like watts or degrees Celsius. So that is also maybe two kinds of vocabulary I'd like to add into besides the theme related vocabulary.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.